Yeah, it's CC, CEO. Wanna change your life? Come see me, yo. I'ma teach you how to build up wealth for your family, not just for yourself. I'm a bestseller, a house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a goal builder that could teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to pass your children, baby. Let me teach you to get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst and watch it all psychological black-owned firm, but we ain't all black.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Constance Carter. Listen, I'm excited to be here. You know, I come live every day of the weekday, not every day of the week like Boyce Watkins does, but I come live every day of the week. So if you want to get notified when I go live, I need you to text the word Constance or my name. Text Constance at 87948. Text Constance at 87948. Y'all coming in. We always like to talk back to you. We like you to talk back to us and talk black to us. So make sure in the comments, put where you're watching from. B1, what's up, everybody? What's up, Sophia? Look at Sophia be on here every day. I love it. Sophia, what's up? Lovely JR. What's up, Dennis Spraggins? Much love. You guys, put where you're watching from, because I know we have people that watch from all over the world. So whether you're in Chicago or Detroit or Dallas or the DMV. Oh, you see all them D's? That's called alliteration. You see all them D's, how I did that? You got to put them nouns and verbs together like that. So wherever you're watching from, I want you to put in the comments, okay? Because every time we go live, we want to shout you out. All right. Oh, Delaware, there go another D. What's up, Naomi from Brooklyn? I see you. I saw you yesterday too. And then the second thing, listen, within this political climate, it's time for us to get information and take action. So we have to work with us. We have to do business with us. So if you have a product, if you have a service, please, please, please put it in the comments, because I want you to be able to share with your fellow viewers what kind of business you have. Okay. So put it in the comments. That's number one. What kind of product or service or business that you have. And the second thing is where you are, and then how can they reach you? Because we want to make sure, like, we don't want to just see that you're a black owned business, which is great, but we want to be able to patronize your business. So how can they get access to your business? So we want to shout you out up here too. What's up, D from Savannah? Baltimore in the building. Seattle. What's crack-a-lack and Big Mac? And so also, let me just say, I don't know where you're watching from. I know we're on about 8 different streams, but make sure that you follow Fly Nubian Queen, follow ours and subscribe to our channel, please. Make sure you follow I Am Constance Carter on YouTube as well. Listen, it's important that we get visibility on our content, because when you share, when you like, when you hit the heart, it pushes us out a little bit more, and it alerts more people when we're going live. And listen, if you want to close the wealth gap, if you want to get people to get this information, it's important that people actually see it. And so if you share it, each one teach one, then more people will get access, and then we can send this out to the masses, and finally, maybe together, we are going to close the wealth gap. So make sure you like, you share, you subscribe, and give us some hearts right now. What's up, GM Heath from Compton, California? And Joe Corley, what's crack-a-lackin', big man? Oh, we got to have Joe on the show. So I want to introduce to you my co-host, the beautiful, the lovely, and the amazing Miss Black Hollywood. We about to get, and she's clear today.
Hey,
oh my God.
I'm in the gym. I know I'm clear.
I'm just crossing my fingers that you stay clear, because she'll come on clear, then it'll kind of go away, and this only happens on this broadcast. But yeah. I see you very clear today, baby. What's happening?
Okay, listen, I'm good. How are you? I'm in the gym today. What's up?
We in the gym. This is the Grow Your Money podcast, and we want to just talk to you all about wealth and finances and health, mental, spiritual, physical. It's everything. Wealth is a holistic experience. It's not just about the money. Money is a small part of the currency, but it's everything. Wealth is happiness, and you can have all the money in the world and not be happy. Now you're going blurry again. You have all the money in the world and not have any amount of wealth, because wealth doesn't mean money. It means happiness. It means that you are in alignment. It means that you are living in your purpose. And that's what we want for you, right, Tiara?
That's right. That's what we want for you.
Yeah. So listen, today we're talking about the faces of welfare. And many people have this misconception about what the faces of welfare looks like. And we have been disproportionately affected. We could talk about it till our face turns blue, Tierra, but there has been just such a smear campaign for Black people, Black women. When you look at reality shows, and remember, you told us the secret that you worked on a reality show.
Yeah. Shows
And
up.
you were and Black ones.
Yeah. Black ones, white ones. I worked on The Apprentice.
Okay. And so we're portrayed in a certain light, we are the aggressive ones. We want to fight all the damn time. We want to argue. And I don't know any women who act like those women on those reality shows,
That's
but
right.
that's the portrayal that they put out there of us. That's propaganda that's placed on Black people, especially Black women. And so we were coined welfare queens, which was further exacerbated by Ronald Reagan and the Reagan administration to say that Black people were lazy, to say that Black people didn't want to work. But in reality, that's not the case,
Not
because
never.
42% of the welfare recipients are white women. 42%. We are not the face of welfare. And so when it's put out there, they think that we're lazy. How you gonna be lazy, Tierra, when you'd have built a whole country for
Right.
400 years?
Right.
How you gonna be lazy when you breastfeeding they babies and you doing everything and they sitting up in the house watching you? How are then we portrayed as lazy?
Come on. You're preaching it here.
So it's a smear campaign. It's propaganda placed by what's my favorite term? White supremacists.
White supremacy. I mean,
That's
because if you can tell people the story, me understanding story, right, y'all? I work in Hollywood. I love story. Story is my love language. If you can get people to believe a story, if you can paint a story and tell people who they are. I mean, think about how many things you watch, and how many movies you watch, how many shows you watch to get motivated. It makes you feel something, right? So I just think that the powers that be know that if we tell them the story enough times, they'll accept the narrative.
Why though? Why
Mm.
is there such a campaign and an intentional effort? And you look in so many different ways. You look at by what you put in our communities, by what you put in our food, by how you destroy our wealth, by where you put us in our housing, like everything. It's just like it's just you know. James Baldwin said to be Black and relatively conscious in America is to be at a rage at all
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
Like it's coming at us from all different angles. And then to have other people try to minimize it and say that we are playing the race card or we're being victims or it's really not that bad. When you have no idea, you've never walked in our shoes, when there is a consistent effort to make you look bad. And it's so subliminal. You think, oh, it's just entertainment. I'm just watching the housewives. And, you
My
got
guilty
doctors.
pleasure.
Yeah,
Guilty
right.
pleasure.
You got doctors fighting and shit at the pool.
Yeah.
Like, why are these Black women fighting? You guys are doctors.
Well, at this point, they're conditioned, right? Like, unfortunately, there's nobody that we could make fight. When people audition for the Zeus Network, they literally have to fight in their audition, but I think they come with that energy, like they fight. That's what they do. They walk in, they're on camera, yes, cussing and all of that, and then they fight
Are you?
as a part of the audition. So I think that we believe it. We buy the reason why I said that is that we're inspired by the story that we've been told, and so we take it and we run with it. I think that reality show. I think that reality TV has definitely it's just destroyed our especially Black women, our ability to communicate with each other. I think that people go from 0 to 100. I think it hasn't been a good thing for our conflict resolution and how we communicate with one another. You notice, like, you can step on somebody's shoes and you at some point you'd be like, my bad. Like before you would be like, my bad, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that. People ready to fight, they'll shoot you
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
And I just think that it's a combination of what we're seeing, the things that we're consuming, Constance.
Though, the people that I know, Tierra, I don't know those types of women who gonna go from 0 to 100. I don't know the type of, I know women, and maybe it's because I try to put myself, and I'm intentional about who I put myself around. Like when I'm around you or I'm around my friends, I'm trying to uplift them, tell them they're beautiful, have a good time.
Yes.
Don't nobody want to be around no mess and no drama. But
No.
I think when you look at oh, what show was? Even R&B Divas. Did you work on that show? Remember R&B
No,
Divas?
no, I
Th-
was, I
I,
was,
I remember they said it was supposed to be a positive show about R&B singers,
yeah,
and they had to change it to where, we need people to watch, and it's like, no, people, I don't think they really understand. I don't think that, or maybe they don't want to understand that it would be, people want to see something different. We want to see something positive. And the amount of success I think that they would have if they actually portrayed positive women online on these shows, I think it would be fantastic. But I think it's just like a gangster rap. They don't put money into love music. They don't put money into positive music. They put it into the things that's going to destroy us. And
yeah.
that's by design.
Yeah, when I started my production company, The Real Network, many years ago, I want to say in 2012, the reason why I saw Deborah Lee, that used to be CEO of BT at the time, and she was saying that Black people, she was hearing our complaints in 2011, 2010, and was just saying like, listen, Black people don't want that, because we make good things, but they don't watch it. So we make what, people will watch. And it just so happens to be mess. And so I read that article and I was outraged. So it's actually how I met Boyce in 2011. I reached out to Boyce because I saw he had written an article about it. And I was like, what he said? Who is this? And I looked, and it was Boyce who had written the article. And I reached out to him and said, hey, can I reference your article for for I want to start a production company, and this is why, and I love what you said. And he was like, yeah, well, actually, just call me, let's talk about it. And we've been friends ever since.
Wow.
Yeah,
No, it's
so
not
it was
really true
based
because
on that.
I haven't seen any shows that were actually positive. I have not seen that. That's not been my experience. I haven't seen enough positive shows to determine whether I want to watch it or not. But I don't watch TV like that. But Joe
Right.
said, I know damn well those women didn't endure what they endured to get on TV and look ignorant.
Yes, they
He
did.
said
Yes, they did.
when they had those Black women doctor fighting, that's when I got off reality TV. Sir, that was the
Yeah.
last season that I saw Married to Med, because I was just like, this is ridiculous. But then
Yeah.
it goes back to, the stereotype of, the welfare queen and the aggressive Black women and this propaganda to destroy us as a people. And so when you look at the history of welfare, it was supposed to be there to help. But what would happen was, when you were Black, they would not allow you to have a man in your house. I want this video is so profound and it's heartbreaking, because it shows you the breakdown of the Black family and why we are in the position that we're in right now as a result of what happened when we had quote unquote welfare.
The policy and the housing authority was to move the poorest of the poor, the most dependent families, to Pruitt-Igoe.
Before we moved into Pruitt-Igoe, the welfare department came to our home. They talked with my mother about moving into the housing project, but the stipulation was that my father could not be with us. They would put us into the housing project only if he left the state. My mother and father discussed it, and they decided that it was best for the 12 children for the father to leave the home. And that's how we got into the projects.
The welfare department had a rule that no able-bodied man could be in the house if a woman received aid for dependent children. If a man lost his job, he's looking for work, he still had to leave the home. And there was even a night staff of men who worked for the welfare department, whose job was to go to the homes of the welfare recipients, and they searched to find if there was a man in the home. Sometimes men came back at night to be with their families. Some were found in the closet hiding.
We in the gym, baby. I love this show. I love this show. I do. Go ahead.
But imagine what that does to a man's manhood. I don't care
Mm.
what kind of poverty that you in. Imagine what that does to a man's manhood. First of all, I can't provide for my family because they're simply not giving me work. I'm applying for jobs and they're saying no. And then I have to leave my family so that my kids could be taken care of. I'm sacrificing. And then I want to come home and be with my family at night. And these my white motherfuckers come up in here and I hide in the closet. Like imagine the level of emasculation
Mm.
these white perverted ass motherfuckers get off on demasculating or emasculating black men. Can you imagine being a big burly black man who has a sense of pride and they get caught hiding in the closet of their own damn home? What does that do mentally?
Yeah.
Let's bring Jermaine on. We have a special guest, and let's bring her on so she can just join in the conversation. But what are your thoughts on that, Tiara? And then I want to ask Jermaine, what do you think about what you just saw?
You know, you just see today, obviously, the effects of that. You know, it's like there's so many complaints about black men not being in the home, and how again, that story, like I said, you tell somebody a story long enough and you don't kind of know where things came from. You have no idea. And we're at this point, we don't know, we can't know our history, right? Like they're trying to erase it right now. So we won't know where things came from. We'll just think this is just the way black people are. This is just the way they're, you know. So I just see the game. If
Yeah.
nothing else, like I see, okay, like how can we destroy the black family? Because what did J. Edgar Hoover say, Constance?
The biggest threat to America was Negro unity.
That even meant the family. That
The
even
black
meant the
family.
family. How can we get them? How can we move the family apart? Welfare. Let's put this system in place where black men can't be in the home. You know, fast forward how many ever years it's been. Now black men are not in the home. And not in every situation, but I'm saying you find how many, I don't know the percentage of single women. You know, I don't know that percentage right off top, but I just know it's a large percentage. And I
Girl,
just
it
think that we,
angers me. It
yeah.
angers me so much what
Mhm.
they do
Yeah.
to our people. It
Yeah.
angers me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen that clip, but it
Hmm.
just it opened my eyes to some things. So, but coming from a family, like my parents, we grew up. They never used the welfare system. They never went into that, even though we weren't rich. Like there were poor moments. There were moments where they didn't have the money. But I know one thing: my father never left the home. That was never an option for him to leave the home. I remember even listening to a conversation. They were having like some tax discussions or whatever, and the tax advisor advised them to file separately. My parents refused. They said, no, we're married. And
Mm.
so they weren't there. It was never an option. And so I never knew, the connection to welfare and the man leaving the home and that being an option. But unfortunately, me raising my son alone as a single parent, I came across a time where I was unemployed. And for 2 years, I needed help. And so I applied for that assistance. And with the fact that his father was already absent, I didn't have to deal with well, the man can't be in the home. But I
How
did
was that
find
for
that it was
you?
still oppressive.
But okay, so yeah, you said it's oppressive. So you're a college graduate,
Right.
educated, two-parent household. How
Right.
did it feel for you to have to file for welfare?
It was humiliating. The
Mm.
process was humiliating at the time because I lost my job. I had burned through my 401k. I didn't want my family to know that I was unemployed at the time. I think I went 6 months with being unemployed. And it was actually a man who told me, he said, listen, you need to go to social services and apply for everything you can get. He was like,
Mm.
that's what all these white people doing. Go get everything you can get.
62% of the welfare recipients are white people. They are not black people, as you have heard. But you guys, 65% of black in the 1960s, 61% of black adults were married. 61%. Now
Mm.
let's look at today. Let's look at today. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful black couple, black families. Only 34% of black men are married, and 28.6% of black women are married.
Mm.
But then if you look at the other races, Hispanics, 45% of Hispanic men are married, 43% of Hispanic women are married. And then you go down to Asians, 45% of, excuse me, where's the Asians? 58% of Asians are married and 63% of Asian women are married. Oh, women are marrying every race. I think they're like the most sought after female group in this country. And then you go down to the white people. Look, I ain't shit. I ain't shit.
Not at
55
all.
The shade.
55% of white men and 52% of white women are married. But that also correlates with black wealth. Wealth is correlated with marriage. When you have two parent households, when you have two incomes, that actually extends to the amount of wealth that a household. Yeah, Joe, I ain't shit, right? That extends to the amount of wealth that you have in your house. And so when you see us married at a far lower rate, number one, the reason why is because of this welfare system, right? Because you have a lot of people who grew up in single homes just by sheer survival. They needed to survive, and they couldn't have a man in the home. And then that became part of the culture, because now we don't have a man in the home. Now we don't need a man in the home. And now we independent black women, we don't want a man in the home. And so then there's this other cycle. I don't know. Okay. Are white people that smart? I know they're that diabolical, but are they that smart to really look and say, if I do this and this and this is what's going to happen to, like, are they doing that?
No, it's what you said the first time. They're diabolical. It's not about being smart. That greed, envy will drive you, will motivate people, and that's what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I think people are. I mean, what COINTELPRO taught me that white people will sit around in a room and say, "How can we dismantle the black race?" Here's some, and I feel like they had meetings about it. Obviously, you sending letters to somebody else. Who would think to do that? To send letters to somebody else, to think that it was the letters being sent to somebody else. Like, who would do that? White people.
Because the biggest threat to America is Negro unity. Because what happens is they think that we are going to, they were so diabolical in their colonization of our people. They raped, pillaged. They just did all of the things, brought diseases, and just evil, the most evil things you could think of, fed our babies to crocodiles. And just, have you ever heard of the story of Mary Turner? Y'all ever heard of the story of Mary Turner? Mm-hmm. Mary Turner, she was a black woman. This was in the maybe early 1900s, late 1800s. This was after slavery. And her husband was accused of something. I forget what he was accused of. And they were going to lynch him. She spoke up against it and said, "Don't lynch my husband." Mm-hmm. So they lynched him. And then before they lynched her, they hung her up on a tree. She was 8 months pregnant. Yeah. They cut the baby out. The baby came out. Oh, then they shot her up too. Then the baby came out and they stomped the baby. The baby was crying. They stomped the baby. Yeah. This is the kind of evil and diabolical things that these savages have done to our people. Understand? So when you look at that, and then the propaganda that they try to put out to the world is that we're lazy, that we're evil, that we're criminals and all that, when they have proven time after time after time, this is what they do. Yeah. So I think the thing is, they think that we're going to do to them what they've done to us, the brutal atrocities that has been done to our race at their hands. I believe that they're scared. They're definitely
they fear the very thing about us that attracted them to us. They fear the fact that we're strong, we're resilient, that we work hard. And it's like, oh, that's why we wanted them. That's why we enslaved them, but as long as we were under their control. But now that we're no longer under their control, it's like, okay, well, how can we break them down?
Mm-hmm. That's what it is. How can we break them down? So they are sitting in a room saying, what can we do?
I mean, you don't think Trump did? You don't think Trump and his cronies have done it? You don't think that they all sat around and talked about black people? I mean, they didn't wake up one day and say, you know what, let's get rid of DEI. Let's declassify Martin Luther King. Right. The files. Let's do that. Like, just,
let's just smear everything about them.
Smear everything. Let's get rid of the history. I mean, the federal government is not going to acknowledge Black history. Federal workers are not going to acknowledge. They don't want them to talk about the Tuskegee Airmen in the Air Force anymore. I mean, just all these things. It feels like somebody had to talk about it before.
Yeah, they had to talk about it because it just didn't come. Yeah, They ain't talking about it. It's been talked about since the inception. And the unfortunate thing is we've been asleep. We've been asleep, y'all. We've been comfortable. We've been asleep. We thought we had little privileges and stuff. Yeah. We've been we've been sleeping. So
we thought we arrived and we were safe. We thought we were safe.
We got a little money. We got a little influence, a little affluence. Like we doing good. Our bills are paid. He
said, no more civil rights.
Exactly. You know, speaking of this whole idea of white supremacists, I want to show you a video of this black white supremacist. Oh Lord. You know, I can't stand her, but they say, well, I'll let you guys, I want to know what the audience think. And as you're watching, y'all, if you guys are here, we are talking about the real faces of welfare. This is Constance Carter, and I'm on the Fly Nubian Queen channel. Make sure you're subscribing to the Fly Nubian Queen. And every time I come live, if you want to get notified, please text Constance to 87948 so you can receive notifications. You may have received a notification when the broadcast was over. Thank you, boys. It's okay because they're receiving the notifications. Better late than never. Better late than never. But make sure you text the word Constance to 87948. But I do want to go on this black white supremacist, and she makes me sick most of the time. But let's see what she had to say.
Welfarism did this to Black America. It is a fact that in the 1950s, under Jim Crow, that Black Americans were outpacing white Americans in terms of growth. Well, what happened was, despite there being Jim Crow, or because of Jim Crow, Black Americans couldn't rely on government. There is this simple thing that when your back is against the wall, you will fight, you know? And so then LBJ, who was the most racist president, I mean, this man was dropping the hard R-N word for breakfast every day. He hated Black Americans. And yet, we learned in public school that he was our savior because he inked the Civil Rights Bill. But he had to. That wasn't by choice. Literally, he had a figurative gun to his head. Yeah. And there's more stuff that he did in terms of trying, you know, the draft, wanting Black Americans to die first in Vietnam. He was so committed to racism. And he said, I'll have these N-words voting Democrat for the next 200 years. And in one fellow swoop, signed welfarism in. And that's what broke down our families. Black America will literally say the absolute most about how bad government is while insisting that we have more government.
What say you? Does she have a point?
Jermaine, we can start with you. What you say, sis?
It's just like we said earlier, a broken clock is right twice a day. You know, she has a point. And historically, we've known that the Democratic Party started out where it was not the representation for Black people. You know, and we but I don't think Republicans are either. Like it's not we want Black people. It was always how can we get this group of people to work for us? You know, the Emancipation Proclamation came about because Lincoln needed us on his side so they could win the war. It wasn't because, I just want Black people to be free.
Right.
And that was Republican move. And then, so I just feel like, for one thing, I feel like both parties need to be reformed. It's hard to align. I can't align with either one right now. But I know who I don't align with.
Unequivocally.
Right. It ain't that orange one that's in there. You know? So, but you know, so we can look at politicians on either side and find flaws. We can look at every president and find flaws. We can look at the savior Obama and find flaws in the policy and how it helped or did not help, per se, Black people. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I feel like we are responsible for us, and we have to get outside of these party lines. And we, like you said, we have to come together in unity, whether you be rich, poor, educated, uneducated. We got to come together and recognize, like, ultimately, they don't care about us.
Michael Jackson said, all I really want, they don't give a fuck about us.
Right.
I'm sure he didn't curse. I'm sure that wasn't.
Michael probably cussed with the best of them.
Yeah, so you know, we have people who are obviously aligned in this room with Trump and people who are not.
Brian Shank. No.
Brian Shank.
No, we're gonna call him, we got a new name for him. Brian Stanklin. Go ahead.
Listen, Brian is sitting on Trump's ball sack every day. That's what he just sits on it. He just, because he loves it. He loves him. It's what's interesting about all of this is that I feel like we need it. We need Trump to come in and show us, because I think, like you said earlier, we've been lullabied long enough, and at this point we have to see the hard facts. We have to see what Candace is saying, and seeing it in real time and being offended. It takes for us to be offended for us to move, and so hopefully the facts are there. We see it in plain sight. We can't, I mean, I guess Brian doesn't. Y'all, I don't understand how people cannot see it at this point. It's like we can't even be aligned. I want to use Brian as an example though, y'all, because there are Black people that exist like him that are really hanging from Trump's ball sack. They're calling him daddy on national television. Like, we're seeing this this romantic, I don't know, like they in love with this man, right? So there's people that still don't see it, and I don't understand. What do you say about those people that just don't see it?
You know what? And the thing about, he said he's sitting on the principles of Dr. Claude Anderson, but the thing about it, Tiara, is like, for what I don't understand is, I could see maybe possibly prior to the election, this farce election, okay, maybe you kind of align with some of the ideals of Trump. But for this to be the second week or third week of his office, second week of him being in office, and everything that he's tried to dismantle, and you still say Trump 2024, you still on his proverbial ball sack, even after, speaks to your mental health. So I just either think Brian is a self-hating, bucking ass Negro. What's up, Brian? Or I think he may have some mental illnesses, because I don't see how any sane Black person could say that any of the shit that this man has done is okay.
This
week. Yeah, this week. Right. And then, like, so we don't agree. We don't always agree with Republicans. We don't always agree with Democrats. A lot of Black people are really moderate. We don't believe in the super ultra liberalism. Like, there's some basic principles that we have as Black people that we don't fuck with that shit.
That's right.
However, what they've masterfully done is they've, even like when you look at the leaders like Al Sharpton, you're supposed to be a pastor, but you're aligning with these quote unquote liberal values. That it doesn't make sense. Most Black people don't align with those super liberal values.
Right. Yeah.
And we don't align with those super far right values. Most Black people are somewhere in the middle. We typically vote Democrat, because the Republicans will show us that they don't give a damn about us, but the Democrats will pretend that they give a fuck about us. And we have been, like you said, lullabied for the last 50 years. What did you say? We were in a fog. We've been in this fog for the last 50 years, thinking shit's sweet.
Yeah.
But shit just got real.
You see some Black celebrities, you see Black politicians, and you feel like this is progress. But when you look at the numbers, Constance, the numbers say, and you always say this, everything that is bad, everything that is bad, we are at the top. Everything that is good, we are at the bottom. So, as a matter of fact, I don't know what the percentage was. I hate that I don't know what the percentage was, but it was basically saying that we were I think Dr. Claude Anderson said this, that we were better off right after slavery than we are now, in terms of like what we own, our ownership, assets, all of that. Like, we were better off after slavery.
Think about this.
How can that be?
Right after slavery, there were 16 Black people in Congress, and they were like, "Wait a minute, these Negroes is making laws, and now they running, and it was the ignorant mob-like mentality that got Black people out." And then they said, "We're going to just force this segregation." Well, Jim Crow, right? So Jim Crow was birthed out of the need to put Black people in their place post Reconstruction. But yes, I last week on our show, I put 20 neighborhoods, affluent Black neighborhoods, all over the country. They were redlining us. They wasn't giving us loans.
Yeah.
They wasn't giving. They were taking. They were mobs. They were bullying Black people. They were destroying our neighborhoods. But yet we still thrived more so then than we do now, where you had a lot of affluent areas. You don't have a lot of affluent Black areas. Not a lot. You do have some, but not like we did before. And the federal government bombed. They just said a couple of weeks ago, they just announced. Now, we've always known that the federal government was also responsible for the bombing of Black Wall Street. It wasn't just the mobs burning it down, but they also bombed it. They just admitted it not too long ago, okay?
Yeah.
So they bombed it. Then you have these other ones where you have, quote unquote, urban renewal, where we're just going to put a freeway through here. We just go, all that in an intentional effort to destroy our wealth.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers is diabolical.
You
said, yeah, for real.
That's
Like,
planned.
we can't get rid of their Black asses. We can't ship them back to Africa. So what do we do? Let's just kill them.
I wish we would have before, when Abe Lincoln was like, all right, met with our leaders and was like, listen, I want to free y'all niggas, but, maybe after I free y'all could just go somewhere. Like, y'all can go to Haiti, y'all can go and live somewhere else. But I think y'all should leave.
They were not getting back on that boat.
Right.
No way in the world.
I wonder, GP, if we would have left, right? If we would have actually left, I feel like
took to come, they were not getting back on that boat.
Man, I just feel like we would be better off psychologically. I
do not deny that, but I just feel like there's no way you're gonna see the horror that you saw when you got on the boat, and then it's time to get back on and hope
you think
that
about the atrocities that those people experience. But there were a group of Black people that went back to Sierra Leone. You guys do know that
and
there
Liberia.
was Liberia. It was Liberia. And do y'all know what they did? So I meet people from Liberia out here, and their name is John Smith. I'm like, oh, you from Liberia? Because they have Americanized names.
American names, right?
And they have heavy African accents. But you know what them Negroes did? They went back there and started trying to oppress the Africans from what they learned here.
Yeah.
They thought they was better after they just got their ass beat by, like, what is why did we pick up the role of our oppressor and then we try to oppress our own people?
Wow.
Yeah, that's what they did in Liberia. So we did have some of that. And then you think about Haiti, because you guys mentioned Haiti. You guys know the story of Haiti, right? So Haiti got their independence in 17 something.
Yeah.
And then the French said, well, now that you have revolted, you now owe us millions and millions and millions of dollars because of the money that we lost on slavery. And you have these institutions like Citibank and all of these institutions that back them. And so the reason why Haiti is such a poor country is because the French breaking down their infrastructure because of the debt that they owe. That's the reason why Haiti's so poor.
So they basically say, you're going to pay us for the free labor we were going to get off of your backs.
Mm-hmm. That's what happened.
Insane.
And then you hear these, and then so I remember on the 700 Club. What's the motherfucker's name on the 700 Club? My daddy used to listen to him. Whatever that.
700 Club.
Pat Robertson. Pat Robertson had the nerve to say, and then I've heard Shawnee's husband say this as well, had the nerve to say that the reason why the Haiti were able to overthrow the French government was because they practiced voodoo and it was witchcraft and the devil helped them. And that's the reason why today Haiti is in the shambles that it's in. But it has everything to do with not only the French, but but America too.
I feel like Haiti gets so much hate and so much shade because they did revolt, because they did show people, hey, you can overcome this. Mm-hmm. And so now they're like, no way do they want them to be a good example of what happens when Black unity comes together. Yeah. So they just keep on dogging them out, keep them in debt, keep them looking bad, because there's no way we want them to see that something good could happen if they unite.
But you see the story. But you see the story, right? The story that was created when they did revolt. It's like the story. It's the story.
Propaganda.
It's the narrative. If you want, who controls the narrative, or who controls the story, who controls the narrative, controls the people.
That's it. He who
That's it.
Okay, so I don't even want to get on my soapbox with that, but you even think about religion. So the religion was really about control. So you look at the Catholic religion and how they dominated the world through control by fear, their fear tactics, and that's the reason why they were able to fall in line and say, "Well, if you don't do this, you're going to go to hell." And so, what do? And I don't want to go to hell in the afterlife, and so I got to do this and this and this to make sure I don't go to hell. And so they were able.
Yeah. So they gotta go do their rosary and their Hail Marys and whatever it is.
It's all of that. But then you think about, because I seen today where, y'all, did you know they deporting Dominicans from Puerto Rico? They all look the same. They all look like Black Spanish people, right? So ICE is out in Puerto Rico deporting Dominicans. And so they're crying like, oh no, whatever, right? And so, a lot of Black people like, I'm minding my Black-owned business, my Black business, I'm part of the 92%, holla at me in 4 years, it's whatever. But you also think about what the DR does to Haiti, how they discriminate against Haiti because they are the darker skin, they're the Black, and they don't want the Haitians over it. And if you guys know geography, they're on one island. Right. They're literally on one small island that's separated by like a freeway or something, or a bridge or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so they were deporting Haitians. Now Donald Trump deporting them from Puerto Rico, y'all.
Wow.
I wish I had some tea to sip right now.
I mean, I think we should just mind our Black business. You know what I'm saying?
That's what we doing. We minding our Black business.
That's what we doing. Let me show you guys
passports though.
Right. That's the thing. So let me ask you this, because I know this is off topic, but I do want to know. And somebody said, wait, let me just address this. Somebody said they're going to try to destroy the wealth in Prince George's County too. Somebody said they are about to destroy the middle class wealth in Maryland. They are intentionally dismantling the federal government in DC, PG County, and Charles County will be affected. So I'm actually going to be talking. So for whoever is here in Prince George's County tomorrow, we're going to be talking to Aisha Braveboy, who is the state's attorney, and she's running for county executive. And that's the very thing that we're going to talk about, is how this administration's policies are going to affect the people in Prince George's County.
Yeah.
But the fact that you mentioned you better get your passports, is anybody willing to move out of the country?
I've been researching it. I'm telling you, I went to Ghana 2 summers ago and fell in love with it. I went to Colombia, fell in love with Colombia. So when the Colombian president was getting into it with, oh boy, I was like, oh, please leave Colombia alone. That's I like to go escape down in Colombia, because there's so, like, what surprised me is how many Afro-Caribbean people are down in Colombia.
In Colombia?
People, yeah, so many, especially like Kali, so many people look like us.
It's fine men out there too? Fine Black Colombians? I'm just saying. Asking for a friend. I'm asking for a friend.
I mean, yeah, because you like them light skinned, so there's a lot of them out there.
That is so not true.
You like the light skin.
Why would you say that? No, it's not true.
You like a light skin. Oh my God.
That's not true. They
no,
say
I have researched it, and even before this administration, I researched it just because I know that these American dollars that I'm making now are going to go so much further, say, if I were to live in another country. So I've been researching it just because when I retire, I don't think I'm going to retire in the United States.
I figure if I could move across the country from my parents, I could probably live in another country. The only problem is, like, I was talking to this guy a few months ago, and he was saying, it's great. Like, if you go to Nigeria, it's great. You'll live very well, but you got to think about, there might be times where you don't have no electricity for a couple of days. Like, it'll just go out because their infrastructure is not great. Yeah. Or just like when we have No Melinda on our podcast, like, her shit be going in and out because their Wi-Fi is not that great. Yeah. And so you have those inconveniences in those countries because they're not as developed as ours. Right. And so I think maybe that might be the thing.
I mean, what's better? Like a little inconvenience for 2 days, or them burning down or racism? You're poison, sis.
Yeah, I know. We did say yesterday about, the fact that we always have to think about being black. We talked about that. Remember, Athena is from Jamaica. She's like, I didn't have to think about being black until I came to America. And now it's like it's something that's constantly on your mind all day.
Yeah.
And then you also have the conveniences. And that's the reason why it's so hard for us to boycott, because we are so used to the conveniences. I was like, I'm boycotting motherfucking Amazon. And then the other day I was like, damn, I need a thing for my microphone.
Yeah.
Right.
And the first thing I do is go to like,
Right.
God damn.
But I'll tell you what I'm doing. So, with the whole Target DEI thing, but what I'm doing, so because there's several brands that I absolutely love and I've only gotten them from Target. But what I've started doing, and I'll probably build some content around it, is looking at those products and finding out that I can buy them directly from that particular brand. I don't have to go into that store. I can still support that Black brand, but I don't have to go into Target, and I don't know. I saw Tabitha talking about, please still go buy, support Black business. Girl, I'm not getting ready to make Massa happy so that the in-house slave can be happy. I'm just not gonna do it.
Yeah, no, I mean, if we don't stand on for something, y'all, if we don't stand for something, we will fall for anything. And that's the one thing that I think that Black people just have in the last 50 years haven't been able to do. We just haven't been able to get real clear and focus on one thing to say, this is what we're just going to stand on business about. We stood on business when we canceled Chrisette Michelle. We stood on business. Yeah, that's my homegirl, right? Now Snoop. So I talked to Warren G. I told you I talked to Warren G the other day, Tiara. And so I was like, what happened with He's like, man, I just told him to just ignore it. So he'd been ignoring it, right? I just told him.
He has. We haven't heard a thing from him.
Yeah. And at some point, I'm like, though, he gonna have to address it. Like, he effed up. What was he thinking? Huh?
He did.
He addressed it. But they still going in on him. And then I see some detractors.
He's hoping that it just goes away.
That's what he's hoping, that it'll just go away. And so he's like, so you see some of the people in the comments are saying only white people are mad at him. No, it's Black people on here too, but they're trying to kind of curb the criticism, because they're trying to water it down and say it's only white people that are saying that he's a sellout. But no, it's Black people up in there too. But they're just trying to minimize, because I don't know what's going to happen with Snoop. We do have short-term memories, but that whole 4 years, Chrisette Michelle couldn't work nowhere. She couldn't do nothing. I felt so bad. She lost, so much money. And honestly, she does have a heart of gold. Like, she's a really, really cool chick, and she didn't deserve that. It wasn't the best choice for her to do, because what she did is she was like, I'm doing it anyway. Like, everybody told her not to do it. She said, I'm doing it.
Check. Yeah. Which makes even. I really don't understand why Snoop did it, because he doesn't need to check. That man is employed everywhere. Between him and Kevin Hart, they are employed everywhere.
Yeah.
They said that man was making $1 million a day at the Olympics.
Yeah. I don't know who his management team is, but they are his agent. They are on it. Like, he is in everything. So I didn't understand why. I understand Nelly. Nelly got new babies. He not really hot. He needed a check. Snoop didn't need a check.
Yo, they canceling Ashanti. They done took down her
tour. She was about to do a tour, but her husband.
I seen the thing on Facebook saying that he's coming to the area, and I just seen a bunch of laughing emojis on the thing. I'm like, damn, Moses, go, because he got on there in front of them white people. He didn't interview with nobody else, but he got in there in front of the white people standing on business. Like,
Brian might go see him though.
Huh?
Brian might go see him.
Brian Stanklin.
Brian might go see him.
I'm gonna look at this last video. It's the faces of EBT fraud. Now, I'm not going to admit anything, but have you guys ever did 50 for 100, 100 for 50?
Done what?
100 for 50.
I know what you're talking about.
150. Oh, yeah. I mean, yes.
I haven't.
Yes, bring them. Please bring them. I buy 150 now, Jesus.
Anybody in the audience?
Eating groceries? You see the price of groceries?
I look at it from a different perspective, because, like I said, I went through 2 years where I did have to use public assistance. I had to use food stamps. And the amount that they gave me, it was not like I needed to eat. Like, no, I need these. I was going to the grocery store. I got to fill up my cabinets. Like, no.
Listen, I'm gonna tell this happened a long time ago. This is not recent, y'all, so don't judge me. So I had a hookup. I had a little hookup where, you know, she called me up and was like, this is what she would say. This is what she say. Hey, Niecy, want to do some business? I'm like, hell yeah, where we meeting at? That's how every time. Hey, Niecy, want to do some business? So I go meet her up. You know, we make the exchange. I go to Costco. She got $600. I give her $300. I got six. You bet. You know, I didn't even have the regular basket. I had the
cart. The flatbed cart.
My kids was little, right? I was looking toe up. The kids look like baby kids. They was running like we were just looking real ghetto. We was just doing the most. We had a whole, you had the lobster. We had everything on there, right? So I go up to the thing. And the lady, I got a black Costco card. Like I got the platinum black, So the bitch gonna ask me, well, this don't match this card, so you can't use it. Now I have a friend that works at Costco. He said she wasn't supposed to do that. She was Peggy. Her name was Peggy. The bitch Peggy was gatekeeping. She was trying to prevent me from being great. And so she would not allow me. And so she told the people that they had to take the damn groceries back. And them black dudes, they came over there. They was looking like, you got it. They see all that. They was like, you got it. You can't. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go out like no sucker. I paid that whole $600. I was like, I'm just, you're not going to have me going out like no sucker. So I went ahead and paid the money. But
right. And back in the day, like I'm sure that was a lot of food.
It was a lot of food.
When I was Costco, she was like,
my kids was bad. They was running around like babies. I just felt so ghetto. I was like, I can't go out like this. But there are a lot of people who may have had the 100 for 50. I don't know. I don't know anything about. I remember I was in this elite leadership program. And it was kind of like The Apprentice. You had to like do all this stuff to get in. And so it was all the elite people of the Sacramento area. And I mentioned, somebody had called me. I was like, oh shoot, this girl got this stuff for me. And I had mentioned it to one of the girls. And she was like, isn't that illegal? I was like, oh shit, this bitch about to report my ass. Because I'm here with all these elite black people, like the creme de la creme. I don't even know how I got in. I got in by the skin of my teeth. I mean, I made more money than everybody put together, but they were working for the Senate, and they were all these, creme de la creme black people. And I was like, these bitches, I cannot relate. But anyway, I just want to show you this last video about the faces of EBT.
Walked in one by one, some hung their heads, others wore their feelings right there on their t-shirts. Today, the Manatee County Sheriff's Office announced an undercover operation they've been working on for months resulted in more than 100 arrest warrants and close to 40 arrests.
This is a huge problem, and we're like one of maybe 3 or 4 law enforcement agencies in the state of Florida that have decided to do something about this.
And it has to do with just that. Meal tickets in the form of EBT cards for low-income individuals being fraudulently used. One part of the investigation centered around Gerald Millis, a local restaurant owner who police say purchased EBT cards from people for 50 to 60 cents on the dollar, and then stocked his local Pizza Pros restaurant with food he bought using those cards.
We were able to determine that he used 53 different EBT cards at Sam's Club.
Police say 55 people were also caught illegally selling their EBT cards to undercover detectives.
A couple of them said, I'm headed to go get some rock cocaine.
A beyond frustrating reality for taxpayers who today learned their hard-earned money is being misused.
So I couldn't hear any of that because it kept cutting in and out, and I didn't watch the video prior. What happened?
Basically, white people was selling their cards, giving their cards, selling their cards.
Yeah, there was a guy who went and they said he went to Sam's and he used 62 different cards to. Oh shit! Yeah, 62 different cards at Sam's to purchase items, and
for his restaurant.
Right, for his restaurant. And a lot of the people that he bought from, of course, they didn't have the same hue as us. And they were going to buy rock crack or something. They said they were going to take the money that he gave them to go buy some crack rock. That's what the video said. Can't leave out the fact that they was gonna go buy some crack rock.
Right. Telling the story back is hilarious.
Okay.
Wow. I wasn't expecting that. That's funny.
You know, it's so funny because the actual face, from what I've seen and what I hear from people who work in social services, is that you have a lot of Middle Eastern who are on EBT. They will drive up in their Mercedes Benz, and there'll be business owners. So they may own a hotel, or they may own a liquor store, but they only report a certain amount of income. And that's what a lot of people do, right? If you make $1 million, but you only reporting $20,000, you could absolutely qualify for EBT. And so what'll happen is they'll be sliding they EBT card, probably buying stuff for their businesses, and then walk out and put they food in their Mercedes Benz.
Right. Or they're the employees of that business, and then they give themselves a low salary, so you go qualify for low income benefits.
Exactly. So that's what happens a lot. Ends up happening. The face of welfare fraud ends up being people who look like us, simply because, not because we do it at a greater level. It's just we just don't know how to play the same game that they're playing. Right. We don't know the game. That's what we
don't know the game because we go to work. We are not what they say they are. We are not lazy. We are not conniving. Like we generally just want to have an equal playing field and go to work.
Absolutely.
Let me get my share of the money.
Right. But there's a lot of things that I think that, and I'm glad that we're just not people who are just trying to get over the system. I mean, a couple of people are.
A lot of us now.
Oh, girl, that said one be some business
now.
I know.
For the most part.
For the most part. But even with wealth building principles, y'all, it's just there's a lot of information out there that a lot of us aren't privy to. And that's the reason why I make it my mission to be able to educate people on those things, because there's little things that we can do to move the needle that we just either that we don't know or we're scared. A lot of people don't invest in like stock. When you talk about the wealth gap and you talk about how there's this huge disparity in wealth between the races, the reason why is because Black people aren't investing on the same level that white people are. And when we do invest, we do have like real estate is our primary residence, but we're not investing in stock because now we're scared to invest in stock. We're scared because we think it's gambling.
Go to the casino
and play the lottery.
Right.
But we won't look at
the lottery, man.
Oh my God. But
my God. And be really like
stock.
My mom be like, really? Like, if I win this $1 billion this week, I'm gonna give you all the money you need. I'd be like, Mama,
you not finna win it. Mama, get your ass about the casino. Mama, go ahead and diversify your portfolio. Right. You might win a couple of dollars. It's just like, but we're so short-sighted because it's like my kids. They with Cash App now, they have the ability to invest in stock. So we always talk investment in my house. And my youngest son, he was 16. He was like, Mom, I put $10 in a stock, but it went down. Well, that's what happens. But that's what happens with most people. They don't understand that the market is cyclical. It goes up and down. And so you have to be in it for the long game. Imagine if you would have bought some Google shares 20 years ago, you would be filthy rich. Imagine if you bought Apple 30 years ago and you just let it sit in there, you would be filthy rich. Right. That's why Project 2025, when you talk about playing the long game, them motherfuckers played the long game. They were doing this. They've been planning this since 1980.
Yes. Yes.
Long motherfucking game. So when you think about Black wealth, we're not looking at the bigger picture. We're not looking at the long game because we've been deprived and shut out so much that when we get a little bit, we want to hoard it. We want to spend it. We want to show it. We want to floss it. We want to flex it, but we don't know how to keep it. Yeah. And that's the reason why I do what I do with the Net 7 Collective. I want to show you guys a little quick video about what I do with the Net 7.
Attention Black women. Yes, I'm talking to you. 2025 is among us. You have a unique genius that people will pay handsomely for, but you don't know how to monetize it. You want to build your net worth, but you don't really know how. You want to get out of that rigid 9-to-5 and become an entrepreneur. You want to be able to communicate effectively and tell your story, to sell your story, to generate passive income. You want to be able to build an entire ecosystem that runs fluidly and makes you money while you're sleeping. Well, these are the things that we do inside the Net 7 Collective. This is where I'm helping Black women from all over the country that are brilliant just like you and looking to monetize that brilliance. The next cohort is coming up soon.
So If you are a Black woman or you know a Black woman, we start the Net 7 Collective tomorrow. And I have one spot available, but my goal and my passion in life, Tiara and Jermaine, is to help Black people increase their net worth to 7 figures. I think that we all can get there, because that statistic in Forbes that said Black median wealth was going to be at 0 in 2053, I don't believe it. They done fucked around and gave us the internet. They done gave y'all me. Yeah. And I'm going to give you all the game. So if you want to book an appointment with me, go to net7bbs.com and let's schedule something, because I have room for one more person and we're starting tomorrow. So this is urgent that you do this today so that we can talk about how we can build your wealth tomorrow. So we're going to get out of here because we're almost at the 1 hour mark. And I love talking to y'all. What was the biggest takeaway, do you think, from the conversation today? I'm going to start with you, Jermaine. What was your biggest takeaway?
Oh, why would you start with me?
Because you the guest.
You the guest.
My biggest thing that the takeaway is that we have to stop looking at party lines. You know, yeah, we joke and laugh at Brian, but we really got to stop looking at, okay, you're pro-Trump, you're pro-Democrat, and we got to look at the fact that we need to come together, unity as Black people, and figure out how we're going to continue to level up and not let our rights be stripped away. Yeah. You know, if that comes to where, you know, someone who has a different understanding of what Trump is trying to do, rather maybe present that to the people who aren't receptive to it, so that we might have a different approach to it. Because now I can't hear anything he's saying. But maybe if you present it in a way that's not condescending or that's not
maybe not
dark,
from him, maybe not out of his
maybe we can say, okay, well, you know, just like with Candace, she's a broken clock that's right twice a day. You know, but I just feel like we really have to get beyond that and figure out how are we going to come together to make sure that they don't step on our necks and we don't lose our rights and we can continue to level up.
Amen. Shout out to Dee Dee. Net 7 is awesome. You will learn. Dee Dee is an attorney, a prominent DC attorney in the Net 7 Collective. And as a result of being a part of the cohort, she ended up getting remember she said it on our show, remember Tiara? She ended up getting another revenue stream where she's legal counsel for another company. And she's like, I got money coming over here. I got money coming over. She writes movies. That's why I wanted you to meet her, because she's writing movies. You in Hollywood. Like, let's make them connections and let's make this money. Yeah, I mean.
Hey, Dee Dee. What I took away, you know, what was disheartening and just a reminder was that first video. Like, I want to say it shot me through my heart. Really. Like, I was like, wow. And so it just reminded me of the stories that we've been sold about ourselves, the gaslighting that we've had to endure, the trauma that has been put on our community. And so it's like, at the end of the day, you wonder, like, if somebody has been sitting in a room planning your demise, how can you really, and you don't even believe it's happening. As a community, we just can't fathom that somebody is sitting around thinking about how to keep us oppressed. We can't fathom it. But I would say that we need to start doing the same, not being petty, not being, and not looking to oppress anyone, but really start to strategize. And so that's what I would recommend. I think we just need to plan. And so, you know, obviously work with Constance, but if you can't work with Constance, we have a Fly Nubian Money Club that is, right now we have a, basically, like, it's free for the 30 days, but I am committed to bringing top experts bi-weekly in to teach you skills that keep you competitive in this market, right? We know that nobody is coming to save us, not the government, but I'm gonna come save you with Fly Nubian Money Club. I'm coming, right? I feel like it's my duty to bring people in. So we had Constance who came in and taught a 7-figure blueprint. I have someone coming in, Vanessa Gopal, who's coming to teach you sales, because if you don't sell, your business will surely fail. That's her tagline. And so we've learned about AI. We've learned about buying real estate internationally and domestically, because things are crazy out here. And I think as long as y'all have the skills and y'all know, you have the skills and you can pivot and you can be powerful, and we don't have to depend. I think this was the thing. We don't have to depend on the government. We can look inward and depend on ourselves. Yesterday we discussed it. We have $1.7 billion trillion with a T, $1 trillion and we're still sitting around waiting for reparations. That's our reparations, coupled with the internet. Coupled with the internet and working together, that's
Woo!
our reparations, y'all.
They can't stop us.
Come on. Come on. A few years of us really being focused and thinking and strategizing and planning, we will be, you won't be able to mess with us. I was about
You
to
won't
cuss,
be.
but I'm trying
I'm gonna
to
say
keep
that
it
you
clean.
won't be able to fuck with us.
Thank you. Thank you. You won't be able to rock with us. So, I just encourage you, if you're not, next 7 is the way. But if you want to just join a group that bi-weekly, you can get the game, and we give away free giveaways every week. Go to flynubianmoney.com.
What are we talking about? So we got a podcast right after this. What are we talking about today?
We're talking about processed food killing us.
Okay.
Right? So
I seen
there was
something
a
about
yeah.
Trump sending people
No, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about foreign aid until tomorrow. We're going to talk
over.
about processed food today because it's affecting our mood. The things that we're eating, Black people, is affecting our mood. Cancer, some of these videos are disheartening to watch. Autism is up, diabetes is up. Cancer is like 1 in 2. Every 1 in 2 Americans are getting cancer. Like, those numbers are insane, and it's
It's
affecting
not
us most.
cancer is not even like if you're gonna get cancer. It's like when you're gonna
When. Yes, and it's really from the things that we're putting in our mouths. Since the first of the year, I've stopped eating processed food. No salt, no sugar, no processed food. Constance says she's going to join me. Did you join me today, Constance?
No. I need the plan. Like if you give me the plan and I could like just like read it, process it, and then like prepare for it. Because if I'm gonna say, okay, tomorrow I'm not eating no processed food, and then my stomach start growling, then I'm gonna go get some processed food. But if
Yes.
I plan for it, then
Got a
it's gonna be.
plan.
So I need the plan. Give me the plan.
Okay,
Give me
I'm
the
gonna
plan.
give you the plan. But I'm 28 days without
Wow.
processed food.
How much weight have you lost?
I don't know. I haven't stepped on the scale, but baby, I'm sexy. I know you see me glowing. You feel me?
I
Y'all see
I
it. Listen.
I see
But
it.
my face has slimmed down. Like, I don't feel inflamed. I've been going to the gym. I've just been like feeling good.
You
Just
on
eating
your
oatmeal and
shit.
vegetables.
You
Yum.
you on your shit. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it because I gotta get my sexy back. I'm out here, single, ready to mingle. Y'all don't want this extra little, when you come, he don't want all this extra. So I'm gonna get my stuff together. All I gotta say, man, is I appreciate you guys coming today and listening to us and talking back and talking Black to us. You can listen to us every day, every single day. Well, 5 days a week, right here on Fly Nubian Queen. And if you want to get notified, even if boy sends out the notifications 2 hours later, you gonna get the notifications. Text the word Constance to 87948 so that you can get notified every time we're live. And we're always trying to just talk about stuff that's relevant to us as a people. But the biggest part, because it's not just about giving y'all information, but it's giving you the game so that you can grow your money and not blow your money. Because if you blow your money, it ain't a damn thing funny. That's why we got the Grow Your Money Club. You can listen to us on Spotify and everywhere, Apple Music, iTunes, all the things where you can listen to podcasts. Make sure you listen, you tune in, you share this information. And my final thought is this. I'm going to go back to James Baldwin. To be Black in America and relatively conscious is to be in a rage at all times.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.